Hey guys, back again. This time we're going to be doing something a little different than just unboxing a new printer. We're going to upgrade one. So I've always had a sweet spot for Prusa printers, but as many people really know, when it comes to Prusa, they are a little bit higher in price. Now, I have played with many different printers, and back in the MK3S plus days, they were the workhorse. They were the ones that did the printing that I needed to get done. However, Bambu came along, made things real cheap and affordable, as well as here in Canada they actually have a form of Canadian distribution, so shipping was cheaper, you know, and even getting parts or anything like that was easier as well. You know, in the States they've got, I think it's Printed Solid, also distributes Prusa in the States, but they don't deal to Canada. Just during this year, I don't know, hopefully this is ongoing, but they had a Black Friday thing with Prusa where all shipping and duties and everything else and stuff was free, which made things a little bit more affordable for me to finally get that upgrade for one of my old Prusas for the MK4S. So we're going to crack this box open. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to upgrade one of my MK3s to the MK4. And maybe what we'll do is we'll do a little print off between the good old P1S and the MK4S. The P1S, it's not the X1 carbon, right? But then, you know, the Prusa isn't Prusa 1. Right, you know, or the XL or any of their other higher end. It's just the MK4. We're just upgrading from the MK3, right? So let's see what kind of comparison we can do. Maybe we'll print a benchy on both and see what the time it takes for both. See what the quality looks like. We'll check it out anyway. I know this isn't anything really new for a lot of other channels out there. You can probably look up, even from 3D Printing Nerd, how an MK4 works. This is just how I'm going to put it together, and we'll see how it works for me. Let's just get down to it and crack this box open and see what we got inside. Alright, so we're just going to utilize my desk space I have here, I guess, for now. I really need to kind of clean up my studio. It's getting kind of out of hand, but printing lately has been busy. This is like the first night for a while that I haven't had machines going all over the place. So that's a good thing, but it makes it harder sometimes to kind of do these little videos in between. We got a little lucky break here. Let's see what we got inside the box. Hey, look at that. We still get gummies, some hardware, and some twist ties. So this is the upgraded harness. I had to get the upgraded harness because the Prusa that I'm going to upgrade has the silver power supply. My other MK3 has the black, and I didn't need it, but I figured, you know what, I'm going to upgrade the older one first and make it newer. Okay, so this is just a Prusa check sheet. Make sure all the stuff, I guess, is there. Oh, a new 3D printing handbook. I got some Prusa stickerage. There is my official checklist for all the components to make sure that everything is okay. That's one thing that's really kind of nice that they always do. They show that every component, right, that was made was tried, tested, and true, and printed out on this sheet on a checklist to make sure that 100% everything is good before it left in this box. Okay, so this is the new thermal connection for the bed. Update stickers. More screws. So here we got our new rods. So they supply these new rods because these new rods are thicker. Oh, that must be the, yeah, USB flash drive. That's probably got the upgraded software on there. That's really nice, actually. Instead of just some generic cheap piece of crap, it actually has like their barcode on it, Pursa research rate on it. So out of all of your thumb drives, you won't, you know, be mistaking, oh, which one was it again? Get rid of that. Oh, there's all our new stepper motors. Wow, look at all this stuff in here. All the new bearings, belts, wrenches, tools, and a new pair of pliers. Those are nice. And the 5,000 million freaking screws and everything that's going to be required to do this. There's the wires. More wires. More wires. There's the board. Buddy board. What do we got in here? The electronics box. So this has got the love board, the Wi-Fi, NFC antenna, so near field communication, and the LCD is all in there. Then extruder heatsink, assembly, hot end assembly, the thermistor, and they give me a little bit of Pursa mint, some orange, and some black. Printed parts. And they sent me another spool holder. Now I don't know why they do that, because like why do I have to replace the spool holder? That part's the same. So I don't know. I guess I got a spare. Anyway, there's the rest of the case. Some more of those. So that's the motherboard. So needless to say, lots of parts. Look at this, man. That's nuts. This is going to be another build that's going to take more than just tonight to do. This is our old MK3. So for now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to tear this thing apart. Alright, so this is going to take some time. I've got a lot of stuff to tear apart. I'm obviously not going to videotape that. That would be freaking boring, right? It's pretty easy. Take all the screws out, remove everything, take the screen off, take the board off, remove the wires, and then we'll move on from there. Alright, we're getting there. So we got the the motherboard off the back. We got all the wires disconnected. Now we got to take the heat bed off. This is literally going to be rebuilding this whole thing from scratch all over again. I remember how long this took. But that's okay. I don't mind doing it because it just reminds me of what's really involved in these things. And that has been removed. And now we do the other side. Okay, so disassembling everything has been complete. So here's what we keep out of our original Pursa MK3S Plus. We've got the part of the bed, mainly just the frame, the power supply. I don't have to do anything to the power supply because I kept the original silver one. If I would have gotten the black one or upgraded my other Pursa MK4 with the black one that it already has, I would have to do some changes down here, and I don't have to do that with this one. And the only other thing, it seems, is the rods that held the extruder. That's pretty much all we're keeping from the original. So now we're about to get on to building it into an MK4. My bad, forgot, had to save this too, which we're gonna have to do some operations underneath here after. Oh, and of course, it's obviously still going to use the same spring steel. So we're on to the last of the disassembly, and that's going to be with the heated bed, as we need to change this part underneath here. So we need to take this apart. Alright, so we're moving on to the very first upgraded part. The heat bed thermistor set. There it is. Okay, so instructions say that this new thermistor needs to have that tip in that little circle, or will not read proper readouts. Yeah, I got that pretty much exactly how they want it. Then we gotta put this yellow stuff, or at least this has got a tab. And voila, we have upgraded from the old thermistor to the new thermistor. On to the next step. We've gotten to the point where we're going to install the box for the new motherboard. So we've got these guys that were installed with these little spring clips, and then we've got 4 in there, right? And then this has to slide on to here. Oh, I have to line these up like so, and onto the top ones like so, push down, and that's it. And then screw it into place, tighten her in. Now we're going to install the new motherboard, and with this we've got actually these little thermal conductive pads that we had to install, which in here there's a little indentation. This is why this is metal, right? So it can actually transfer additional heat from the board right to the casing, I guess. So here we go. We got one shot at doing this. Now, being that this is a motherboard, rule of thumb when it comes to anything electronic, just snug. You do not want to over tighten your screws because you will break the board. Right away we can see we've got direct connection, we've got USB-C there. Not sure what this is for yet. So there we have our board. So you can see on this side, if I can see, you can see those indentations here, like here and here. That's where those, right there, that's where that thermal conductive stuff that's attached to the back of the board will attach to this, so it heats up the metal, act as basically a big cooling plate. Okay, so it looks like next thing we're going to be working on is in there, guys, for the X axis and X carriage. Okay, so that only took about 45 minutes to an hour just to assemble this. We got the 2 bearings on the bottom. See how smooth those are. Right, and then just assembling these. There's these big bearings in up here, as you can see there. One on that side, one on this side. So this is our gantry that's going right here. Right, and the amount of little screws, man, is 2 little nuts that go in here, screw here, 4 nuts there, right? Another screw here, another nut there. Same thing on this side. And it took a while just to build these, and I haven't even started doing the printing head yet. So it takes a little bit of time to build these guys, that's for sure. All right, so we got most of our gantry together now. That was a lot of work, man. Holy jumpins. So you can see all the screws and nuts and bolts and things in there. And then the bearings that are encased in that, plus the ends, we get the motor on there as well. Right, seems to be nice and smooth. Okay, we even have the belt installed. So now we're going to be moving on to our horizontal, and we're going to be getting that onto the frame, I think. So much thicker rods than it used to be. You know, the old rods that were on there were those. More robust, I guess you can say. Beautiful. So we've got our gantry actually installed now. Again, this little tool, it's a multi-tool. So it has the thing for the zip ties, but it's also a holder for your gantry to hold it up. Like so. Very cool. So we got everything assembled. Nice big beefy arms here. Alright, we're gonna move on to the next section. The build continues. So we've got power supply, we've got all of the new motors installed, we get the wiring installed, just hasn't been plugged in the motherboard yet. And we flip it around and we've got this is all installed, everything is all ready to go here. We just don't have the stuff mounted in here. We got the love board put in so far. We're getting there. We still got a ways to go. There's lots of little parts to put together yet. Lots of little screws. Look at these extruder parts. Like, this is some serious stuff here. Look at that. That's serious stuff. That's anything here. Like, no messing around, no plastic stuff for this. Housing, yeah, sure, but like, that is just, come on, focus. That's shiny. Like, some serious extruder gear there, man. Like I said, you know, when it comes to Perosa, they don't mess around. They have robust, like, look at this stuff. Like, this is solid. You know, yeah, they've got printed parts, but it's just the housings around all the solid stuff. I can't wait to try this out. All right, so we finally got this all together. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff in there. Like, this pulls back, and then you loosen these off and your whole hot end drops out. It's kind of neat. All metal extruder inside right here, right, which I showed you, right, and the way they've got the fan system and everything all set up, and then there's a whole circuit board up inside here that all of the stuff, the sensors and everything all connects into. And I had to put every single little screw that you see and don't see into this thing. Like, yeah, that was fun. Even putting everything all through here and bringing it in, and I still haven't even gotten into this yet. So we're coming along. All right, we have a screen. Woo-wee. We've got our extruder wires and everything coming down, and everything all going into the new buddy board here. Everything's all nice and neat and organized. Well, there it is. MK4S. Finally got her all built, all put together. And we're going to turn it on for the first time here and see what happens, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. Well, we got a screen, we got fans going. Alright, we're doing a firmware update. Well, at least I know my Wi-Fi is connected properly. That's in the back of this thing. And it's got NFC too, so I'll have to check that out later. You can now fully use all network features of the printer. Cool. Set up Prusa Connect. You want to add your printer to Prusa Connect? No, you do that later. Run self-tests and calibrations now? Yes. Make sure the print sheet is installed on the heat pad. It is. Alright. Fans are running. Alright. Checking for switched fan. Alright. I'm going to let this go through and then we'll do a test print after. Alright, we are all set up. We are about to try a test print with one that came on the Prusa thumb drive here called Bonkers Benchy. And it's supposed to be, I guess, 8 minutes long. Is how long it says it's going to take. So it's just warming up the bed. Oh, we're getting ready here. I don't know if I haven't cleaned this in a long time either. Like, there's dust all over. I don't know if it it might not even stick. Oh, so far so good. Oh, this benchy looks like it's hollow. I wonder why it's going to go so fast. But it is probably printing just as fast as my Bambus now, if not faster. Shed a little more light on this here. %. Oh, there it just broke loose. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clean the sheet. I haven't cleaned this in a while. So we'll try this again there tomorrow. But at least I know that it's working. So I can rest tonight now. Anyway, I'll be back in them tomorrow. Alright, so we've got the MK4S finally all set up. Working great. We've tried out, you know, the little benchy that it had saved, and yeah, it printed really fast, but it's also hollow. You know, and it turned out really well. Right, like you can see, you know, there's no stringing. The overhangs, like the bridging, was really good too. You know, even the bottom turned out really well. You can see that maybe with just a little bit of shadow there. There we go. The lettering. It turned out really good. You know, just looking at the back even. Wants to focus on my face here. You know, like overall, really well done. You know, you can see the roof turned out well there too. I'm trying to hide my face so it'll focus on this thing here. So overall, not bad. Let's put it to a real test. We'll put it up against the P1S. We're going to print the same file. Now this is an actual benchy. This is the straight up plain Jane, nothing changed. Same settings on both printers basically. I've got it set to go on both with the click of a button. Now it says on Prusa Connect that it, well actually does it say on here too? Yeah. It actually says right on the screen for the MK4S that it's going to take 39 minutes. Bambu, it says it's going to take it says it's gonna take 46 minutes. That seems like an awfully long time for a benchy. I don't know if that's realistic or what, but that's just regular settings, not amping any speeds up or anything like that. Right, we'll show you here. So you can see on the screen there that it says 39 minutes. And really nice, actually. I like how it actually shows you on the screen on this one everything that's going on. So they did a good job. You know, now I know like the A1s and P1S, the Carbon, you know, and everything have a much better screen than this old ancient StarMate 4 Sirius radio looking thing, right? But you know, I generally just use the program on the computer anyway. We've got both ready to go. Let's see if I can time this at the same time. I'm waiting for it to, there we go, downloading. And go. Alright, both are starting to amp up here. So the speed of the bed heating up is relatively close. It's actually, it's kind of neat. So we're sitting at 40 degrees on the MK4S. We're sitting at 39 degrees, oh, just 40 degrees now on the P1S. So these are pretty close. 47. Oh, well, the MK4S is picking up speed. Now, it did say that the P1S was going to take 46 minutes, and this said 39. That could be just maybe in startup, I don't know. So the MK4 is already starting to do its self-leveling. Got a little piece hanging off here. P1S is kicking into gear now. Now you'll notice still I have on the Mark IV, I've got a sheet from that normally fits on the Bambus. It's going to work fine for now. It's just I wanted to have the same kind of grip. I did order a cryo grip for the MK4S. It just hasn't come in yet, but they fit, it works, so I may as well just use that for now. We're at 60 on that, we're at 55 on that. So this is running 60 degrees for the bed adhesion, this is running at 55. This is going to heat up to 210, this is heating up to 220. Now it's dropping down to 200. This one's still sticking at 210. Now, I think this was also stepping up to 220 because it was probably doing a purge first. We're already starting the print on the MK4. I'm using the exact same filament in both. It's filament from Elegoo. They're beige PLA, so it's going to be a beige benchy. So there's no difference in quality of PLA being used as well. And we've already got our first layer laid down here on the MK4, the PS1 or the PS1. The P1S is still fiddle-farting around and figuring out its settings. I have a funny feeling that it's not going to be too much different between the two. Move back a little bit. So it's now still over. Meanwhile, the MK4 it's already got 5% complete so far. Up here, we're still leveling. There we go. We're in action. Let's see how quickly, if it catches up, or if it's just going to be behind. We're sitting at 12% now with the MK4. Everything is hearing good because, of course, we're using the BQ cryo grip plates, so we shouldn't have any adhering issues. Prusa now is sitting at 13%. All right. Oh, we've got 13 minutes left. Now, we're still haven't gotten to the roof yet. Let's take a look up here. And they're still working on the bow. You can see where the little holes are. See the little holes in the bow. It hasn't closed those holes in yet. You look down here, you'll see when the head moves. It's harder to see, it's got a bigger fan in the way. Oh, you can see the steering wheel in there. That looks pretty good. It hasn't even started the window on this one yet. Yeah, so the computer says that the Bambu is at 68%, 69% now. It's literally just 10% behind the Prusa. We are at 98%. %. there it is. There is the first full benchy on the MK4. And we still have, we're at 86% on the P1S. Let's see how this looks. Look at that. That's pretty near perfect. Look at that. Like, you can't get better than that. How? Like, how can you get better than that? Now I can see one line, one little line there. That's it. But like, that's smooth. Like, look at even the, even the bow, the back of the boat, actually. Look at that. No stringing. It's got perfect curve there. There's no, you know, like anything from underhanging there. Look at that. That's perfect there. Look at the roof. Look at the tiling on the roof. Perfect there. Little hole in the back there's perfect. The little box in the back there's perfect. One little line there in the front maybe. That's like, that is an excellent, as far as I'm concerned, I think that's an excellent benchy. And that is a full benchy, right? That's not a semi-hollow or anything like that. That's a regular, full-size, regular benchy. There it is. So, looking back now at P1S, it's still moving. It's still trying. We're at 91%. So we'll soon get to see in comparison to quality. Now, one thing that I want to get clear though too is to remember, I literally just built this MK4S. I haven't done any fine tuning. This is literally after me screwing in the last screw and just going through the regular setup of the printer that it's printing like that. There's the whole thing with the resonance checking and stuff like that, like with the P1S. There's a program that you download from the Prusa, right, that you can actually use your phone. You can measure the tension of the belt, right? You know, it can tell by the sound if the belt is perfectly tightened or if it's too tight or if it's too loose. You know, there's a few things that I can still do to fine tune it yet, which I haven't done. I could even still add some extra lubrication to the word gears and stuff. I haven't. It's literally just out of the box like that. So for the one little line that I saw, I'm sure I can probably eliminate those, and it'll just be that much better, or that much closer to perfect. That is awesome. I'm really impressed with that. Like, if you look at this guy, I have to get out of here so it focuses on this thing. I don't know if you can see it, but there's little bumps. There's more on this side too. See them? Little bump. Now this is off of the K2 Plus, right? And it has weird little anomalies. The bottom, the lettering is there, but like where, right? It's really hard to see. You know, you can see in the window, you know, it has just a little bit of imperfection, right, where this guy's got none, right? And you can see all of that clearly on the bottom. Pretty good for the fact that I just literally screwed that thing together with every little screw and every little component by hand myself. It didn't just show up in a box ready to go. Let's see how we're doing here. Oh, look at that. We just finished. It's finally done. There it is. So let's see how this one looks. Oh, jeez. There. So here, now this is the bottom from the one I just got out of the P1S. Here is the bottom of the MK4. I think the MK4's got the win on that one. It's just a little better. That line that we talked about in the MK4, right there, well, if you look here, it's got the same thing. So is it a printer issue, or is it just that's the way this model is? The backs, pretty close. Alright, let's see here, the windows. Now the Bambu, you can see just a little bit up there, that little bit of imperfection there. This is like perfectly round, like look at that. Pretty close, but again, you can see just right at the tip there, there's that little bit. It's not enough to really cry about, and neither one of them have really any stringing. Now some of that is also the fact that this material is fairly dry, but you know, they're so close. There's a little bit of a something on the chimney of this one didn't have. You know, I would think I think the MK4 is like a 1% or 2% better than the P1S, just by a hair, and to print it in 39 minutes instead of 46. But time, I think, would have been pretty much close to the same if you eliminate the extra time it took for the P1S to set up, where this was ready to go and just started printing. You know, if I take those extra setup functions out, right, this one will probably print just as fast, but would it still print with the same kind of quality without going through all that nonsense first? That's the other question. It cost me like $900 Canadian to upgrade my old MK3S Plus to the MK4S, and it took me 3 days to upgrade it. And the difference between the P1S that I got in the week before, that all I had to do was take it out of the box, unscrew 3 screws, I think that's pretty much it, and stick filament in it, and I can run it right away. And the minor, very minor differences in the print quality. And I got the P1S for, I think it was for $3.99 it was on sale for. So is it worth it to go to the Prusa, seeing, yeah, okay, maybe it's a smidgen better in the quality, right, versus the cost? What I would say is that you would have to go with your budget. That's about it. You know, if you don't have a lot of money, get a P1S, get an A1 or an A1 Mini, or you know, any of those. They run great. They give you good quality. Maybe go grab a BQ flex sheet and get the cryo grip, because they're just awesome. Other than that, I would get that over getting a Prusa, just because of the cost. And I have, right? I do have a business that I do run now with 3D printing and printing services. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 6 Bambu versus 2 P1S's, and one of them still an MK3S Plus, which is slow now, right, compared to everything else. It still prints great, but it doesn't have the self-leveling. You still have to do the, well, kind of does, but you know, it's not like the new stuff. It doesn't have Wi-Fi. It doesn't have NFC like this one does. It doesn't have the internet connectivity unless you want to go through the whole schmozzle of trying to hook up an Octo Pi or a Raspberry Pi little computer to it. I can still hook up a camera with this, and it is really cool that I can hook up a camera using like an old cell phone or a tablet or anything like that and put it there, and then it'll actually work as a cam for that printer rather than upping the cost even more for another camera. But it doesn't give you, let's say it gives you even worse quality video than the Bambus. Probably the best video quality I've seen so far is out of the Creality with the K2 Plus that I have, right? Because it's just full on, full motion. That's it. No choppy anything. Whatever you're printing, you see it printing on the screen just the same as it's printing in the printer. The Bambus are kind of choppy. From what I've seen with the MK4, if you're using an older camera or whatever kind of webcam, until they come up with a better solution, it is really choppy. It's like frames here, and all of a sudden it's way over there, and then it's way over here, right? But at least you can still visually see if you've got a spaghetti incident, you know, or a blob of death or something like that that's happened, right? That you can shut it down if it hasn't detected it already and shut down on its own. Now, if I had the money to just buy all P1S's versus Bambus, would I? Yes, and I'll tell you why. The one thing that P1S still has over a lot of other printers is just how robust they really are. They are a tough printer, right? I've had, now, like, don't get me wrong, I've had a crazy blob of death on my P1S before. I heated up the nozzle. I got in there with a pair of pliers. I started pulling plastic out of there. I didn't wreck nothing. That thing there was cleaned, put another roll in, right? Purged all the crap out of it. And then I printed off another print, and it was like nothing ever happened. Where when it happened to my Bambu, I jumped online right away, and I bought a whole new head because the other one was just not repairable. You could not get the plastic out without ruining something because all the parts are so fine, tiny little wires and stuff. So, you know, quality-wise, the P1S's are pretty solid. Print quality-wise, they're pretty close. Expense-wise, well, the P1S's are very expensive, right, versus Bambu. But I dare you, though, to go and take a look at 3D Printing Nerd, Joel Telling. Right, look up his channel. He's got fantastic stuff. If you haven't already seen him, right, you got to watch the stuff that he posts, that their channel does. I'm sure you've seen it already anyway if you're into printing. And he does actually a tour of the factory a couple of times over at Joseph's P1S plant. And it's pretty amazing. And from what I understand is that every component, everything that's in that printer, there's nothing from China. It's all from them. They make it, everything there. As far as I know, like that's what it seems to be to me, where everything else is made in China, right? I can support that if I have the money. Obviously, I don't have a lot of money, and therefore I do have a lot of Bambu. So that's my take on Bambu and P1S. Now that I had a P1S, that was somewhat on the same playing field as a Bambu, that I could do a comparison between the two. You know, so really it's your personal preference. I think a little more durable, you know, go with the Prusa, but you know, if you just want all around pretty much the same quality, pretty close, like so close you almost can't tell, but save a lot of money, just possibly have to pay more for repairs after, then go with the Bambus. They print amazingly, and I've been using those 6 printers quite extensively, right, to do a lot of printing for people. So hopefully this video helps you make decisions if you're looking at buying one or the other. Yeah, I really like my Prusa still, and now that it's upgraded again, I'm probably going to use it all the time, being it'll probably be one of my most reliable printers. Not as much downtime, which is cool. It's just how much you want to spend, right? Or when you want to spend it, or how you want to spend it. So please like and subscribe and share, make some comments. You know, maybe you've gone through this kind of stuff too. You've tried it out. What do you like? I hope you liked the video, right? And until next time, guys, keep on printing, because, you know, printing is fun.